Hi there, this is Shakti. Welcome to episode 2 of my podcast, From the Mat to the Heart. Welcome to my journey. This podcast has been on my heart for a long time. For years, I believed my journey was simply about yoga and movement. But through life's challenges, injuries, healing, and countless moments of grace, I discovered that the greatest transformation doesn't happen on the mat. It happens in the heart. From the mat to the heart is my way of sharing that journey with you. We'll explore the beautiful path of Bhakti Yoga, the yoga of love and devotion. I'll share the teachings from my teachers that have changed my life, the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita and the Srimad Bhagavatam, and the simple practices that have helped me find peace, purpose, and a deeper connection with Krishna. I don't claim to have all the answers. I'm simply a student walking this path one day at a time. If my experiences can inspire even one person to open their heart, then this podcast has been a success. Whether you're curious about Bhakti Yoga, you're looking for hope, or simply searching for something just a little bit deeper, I would be truly honored if you join me, so we can walk this journey together, from the mat to the heart. Let's get started. Welcome to my journey. Let's start at the beginning, at least the beginning of what I can truly remember, which is when I was 3 years old. When I was 3, I had a sister that was 4, and I had a brother that was 9, and I had some older siblings that weren't living in the house. But my younger sister, Aina, she was my partner. She was my bestest friend. And we were only 11 months apart. So one of many days, we went down for a nap, and I woke up and she didn't. My sister had grand mal seizures. And while she was sleeping, she swallowed her tongue and she passed. So when we got up, when I got up, I left the room, and my older sister kind of sort of had me just go out of the room and out of the way. And really, what exactly happened after that is what is and was the beginning of my journey on this path. I remember waking up. I remember me calling out for her and that she wasn't there. And at 3 years old, I didn't really understand what death was. I didn't know what had happened. All I knew was I felt sad and lonely. And somewhere in my little mind, I even wondered if I had done something to make her go away. Did I hurt her? Was I mean? What happened? And where is she? Looking back now, I can't imagine what my parents were going through. My father had already experienced unimaginable loss. His first wife had died by suicide. And after finding love again, he lost his first child with my mother. I can only imagine the heartbreak that he carried. He became very quiet, retreating into his grief is the only thing I can imagine. And my mother became pregnant pretty much immediately. Perhaps trying to find hope in the middle of such a devastating loss. Our family became my older brother, Perry, myself, and about a year later, my younger sister, Lara. The older siblings were still my family. They just weren't living in the house because they had kind of gone off on their own. From the outside, it appeared we had everything. My parents worked hard. They gave us a comfortable life filled with tons of material things. But what I remember most wasn't what we had. It was what we had lost. The hugs became fewer. The laughter became quieter. Time together seemed to disappear. And grief had settled into our home. And none of us really knew how to talk about it, including myself. That was the beginning of the dysfunction in our family home. And that would shape so much of my childhood and my life. Through it all, my older brother Perry became my best friend. He looked out for me. He made me feel safe when everything else felt so uncertain. As the years passed, I kept trying to understand, how do I move forward? How do I move through this? How do you live with loss when you never really learned how to grieve? How do you make sense of something that happened before you were even old enough to understand it? Those questions stay with me for many, many years. And in many ways, they became the beginning of my journey. A journey that eventually would lead from me surviving to healing and finally to finding my heart. So as we continue to go, there'll be more about my story and about my life. This is how we learn how we have arrived where we are today. It didn't just happen from one random thing in our life. Usually it starts at the very, very beginning. Until this day, I still miss my sister. Her name was Ina. She was my very best friend. And it's still hard for me. You know, I still know that everyone's life has a path that's already been written for them. So, that is the end of today's episode 2. Thank you for joining me. Please feel free to DM me if you have any questions on my Instagram. Write me an email or a note. I hope you continue to join me on my journey. Thank you for joining me today. And until next time, Hariom Tat Sat.